Are you looking to find your ideal lifestyle? At Metropolitan Living Realty Group, we are the premier realty group who put you first. Our boutique real estate firm is comprised of an elite team of experienced, knowledgeable, and dedicated real estate professionals focused on your success. With our unique blend of cutting-edge thinking and highly personal real estate representation, we simply enjoy assisting our clients find their ideal lifestyle through home ownership. Contact us today.
Is your fashion, your inspiration.
She Exists Magazine's presence is most definitely being felt all around the globe.
New York, Florida, LA, DC, Puerto Rico, and as far as Australia. The hottest in fashion, music, and entertainment. SheExistsMagazine.com. Subscribe today.
Lifts, 20 alligator snaps.
Good. Straight legs, point those toes.
It's a round off. Remember, turn those hands.
Keep going, guys. Straighten those legs. Beautiful.
Back pull over. Pull up, kick up, pull over. Now you're gonna hang like a bat and drop down. Drop it like it's hot.
Nice. Good.
And yes.
Good, and kick. Good, and finish with your arms up. Don't forget to get your legs straight, okay? Good, way to finish. Good job.
Yo, you guys remind me of Tony the Tiger because you're doing great. Roll, roll, roll. Good.
Freeze.
Not bad. Very good.
Beautiful.
Hey, yo, the 808 will make you slide, slippity slide. 808, bounce, 808, bounce, 808, bounce, 808, bounce. Hold that beat, do that dance.
Good morning, Partymode Live family. What's up, you guys? So, welcome to a special episode of Partymode Live. We are welcoming a special guest this morning, in light of the election that is coming up tomorrow. So, we wanted to bring on a special guest because we wanted to dive a little deeper into asking some questions, and getting you guys a little bit more familiar with one of the candidates that you may be voting for tomorrow. So, I definitely reached out to a few people and got a couple of questions. So we're going to dive into some things that I feel personally have never been asked to a candidate. And then obviously some things that you guys feel have never been asked to a candidate. So without further ado, we are bringing on our special guest this morning. She goes by the name of Dr. Anita Naves. So welcome.
Hello, welcome,
Hi.
welcome. Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am great. It's a beautiful morning. So I'm excited to have you because we don't normally do morning shows. So I feel like,
Okay.
we'd have done a special broadcast. Like we feel like we're part of the news now because we only broadcast at night. So
Well, you know what? I've been known to be a trendsetter and I break the norm. Everything
there
that
you
I
go.
do, I break the norm.
There you go. Definitely excited to have you today. We actually did reach out to a few other candidates. So for you to be on here, you are our first candidate other than Red Grant for DC. Um, So I'm very excited to have you today. I have a couple of questions that I came up with myself, and then I have a couple of questions from some of our listeners as well that actually live in the district that you're running for. So before we
Okay,
jump into that, can you tell the people a little bit about you because you have an extensive background?
I really do. Are you able to see me pretty clear in your audience?
I am. We are.
Okay. All right. Well, I am Dr. Anita Naves, as you stated, and I am running for County Council for District 7 communities, which are located in Prince George's County, Maryland. I'm a little hoarse because I've been doing a lot of talking and knocking on a lot of doors. So if I clear my throat several times, please forgive me because I've been out there on the streets, on the campaign. It's been a long, long journey, just knocking on a lot of doors, almost 7,000, and talking to people and hearing what they
Oh,
have to
wow.
say, and a lot of talking. So a little bit about me is that I live in Prince George's County, Maryland, and one of my homes is located in Suitland, Maryland. And I am, let's see, I've been a resident of Prince George's County, Maryland for at least about maybe 30 something years. I moved here when I was about maybe 21, probably. My background is that of an educator, teacher, social worker, humanitarian, retired United States Capitol Police officer personnel, humanitarian, philanthropist. I'm an author, so I'm an ordained theologian. I'm a professor. Let's see. I create community initiatives for over 40 years throughout not just Prince George's County, Maryland, but throughout Maryland, D.C., Virginia. And
Mhm.
also, they normally go statewide. I'm a 4-time international history maker. I created the first back to school book bag school supply giveaway in 2006 that was created by me. And as I said, a lot of my initiatives, they may start in Prince George's County, but they end up going national and international. So when you see that book back to school book bag school supply giveaway every year, which is coming up, just think of me. I created that. I'm a woman in history 4 times, and it's noted in the office of the Prince George's County Executive. Then it's spread abroad. Let's see. I create programs for men as well. I created the first annual unity challenge for Black boys and men of color, basically.
Mhm.
I create programs for women. I created conversations for women in the community. So I have a lot of programs. I create bully back down program for those students who have been bullied. My daughter and I, my children, they serve in public service as well. My son, he's a special agent in Washington, D.C. And my daughter, she's a activist as well. So I'm very known, but not everyone know me because everybody don't know everybody and what we do.
Right.
So that's just a little bit about me. I enjoy empowering people, mainly our people. And since I'm running, I got in the race in April, which I wasn't going to get in. But then the power was so strong within me, the desire was so strong in me. When I started to take another look at what people really don't know about voting and how it's overlooked, especially at the
Mhm.
local levels. People get excited about the president, but when, the president is over, their campaigning, their office is over,
Right.
they go back. These are millionaires and sometimes billionaires.
Right.
And we don't really look at how important it is to vote for our county council to me, which is one of the most important things. I created Combat Boots for Black Justice as well. See, your name is Justice, but I created Combat Boots for Black Justice at the death of George Floyd.
Mm.
And I wore combat boots for 1 year straight to protest because I didn't want to get out there in the streets. But I created that to help people to learn about what they need to know as it relates to politics in the Black communities. Because a lot of times people just get hooked on name recognition
Yeah.
and, people that they think they know and they really don't know what is really important, who does what, and it's usually the county council position. So I do have extensive background, and that's just the gist of what I do. because we'll be here for a long time.
Definitely. So I'm actually glad that you mentioned something. You said where a lot of people don't know that once the presidential candidation or candidate is over, once he's selected, once the voting is completed, we have to focus on the things that are actually controlling our communities, controlling our neighborhoods.
Yes.
And what are some of the things that you know for a fact that actually happen in city councils that people are unaware of?
Well, one of the main things, Justice, is most people don't understand what the county council position does. A lot of people don't understand that. You wake up one morning and you realize you got some names, you've seen posters, you
Mhm.
got some names, and they tell you these people are now representing your community district.
Right.
However, you really don't know what they do. And the county council position, actually, they are responsible for the zoning. They're responsible for what things go into communities. Okay, I don't know what they call it in DC, but in Maryland, it's the county council. And they have a big part, and they all have to work together, the various districts. But you want to make sure that the underrated communities, such as District 7 and Prince George's County, is one of the least, is one of the most overlooked communities. You have Suitland, Oxon Hill, Temple Hills, Capitol Heights, District Heights, Bradbury Heights, Marlow Heights, Hillcrest Heights, and some parts of Camp Spring. You have a lot of working class people, you have a lot of unemployed people, and you have a lot of senior citizens. You have a lot of Hispanic people, which, I'm not speaking bad of. A lot of them support my campaign. A lot of them have been very helpful. And they say, what can we do to help you? They've given money, to my campaign, but they cannot vote. So you have a lot of people who are not papered, okay, but yet they get a lot of benefits. So they look at these communities as being, not really worthy of all the great resources that we should get, because a
Mhm.
lot of people don't vote, a lot of people don't get involved. And so therefore, to me, what got me in the race is our communities look straight up ghetto. You may live in a nice house in a nice neighborhood, which a lot of people sometimes do. But when you get to those main streets, which everybody has to travel, you have to start looking at your community in a greater, with a greater eyesight, greater precision.
Right.
Okay, and that's what
I'm
I had
definitely
to do.
definitely glad you said that.
Yeah, with greater
That was actually
precision.
one of the questions that one of our listeners sent in. And correct me if I'm wrong, is Forestville a part of District
Yes,
7 as
I think
well,
I
like
missed Forestville.
Walters
Yes,
Lane?
Forestville, most
Okay.
definitely.
So one of the questions that was given in was, what do you plan on doing about the BP on Walters Lane? Because that is known as the kill zone.
Yeah, well, you know what? We have a lot of crime throughout District 7, period. And District 7, that particular area, to me, it takes a lot of community. What I'm running for is to create a platform that says, listen, we need greater community unity. That's one of my platforms, because all the initiatives I've ever created have included people getting involved. All right. And you have to hold your county councils, and not only
Mhm.
council county, but your delegates, all people accountable. But here's the thing, when you start to do that, everybody has a put off. Well, go here, go there, go there, go there. And so gets very separated and divided. So I always like to empower communities. A lot of people don't participate in their civic associations. Come on now. A lot of people don't participate in their if they live in a house and they got a what you call it, association there, they don't
Right.
get involved. Okay, you got a few people. They complain about school. I'm a school teacher, one of the first parent liaisons. I had charged over 5,000 parents in schools, and the parents that show up for schools are very low. So we talk about involvement. Our people need to get involved, but that's a problem that's bigger than just the county council. That includes getting our county executive involved, okay, which has the ultimate say so. So not only just looking at who you vote for county council, but see, they all rub hands together. If you get career
Mhm.
politicians, then they're going to go by what the county executive may say, because they're not afraid to stand up and say, no, we need you to take a look at this in our community. You know what I'm saying? So if you get career politicians to keep voting for the same people that have a close-knit hub that says, okay, we in here, we don't want nobody to rock the boat, well, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the same thing. And when you tell people to vote for somebody new, vote for somebody who is not a career politician. Like I endorsed my own campaign. I paid for my own campaign, so I wouldn't take endorsement for people who are looking for promises on the back end, okay? Or developers. That's another thing. So you
I was
gotta,
going to say
everything
that
has to
too.
work together. Everything
Hmm.
has to work together. So that's how that works. If people don't come out in the community and say, hey, we need a community police officer out here, I am for getting greater policing services. That's my platform. We need greater community policing. But if you got the county executive who has cut the force by 23 million, okay, so what do you expect? What do you expect? And a police officer told me that. See, everything has to work together. And then you say, okay, well, y'all need to get out and protest. The white people do. The white people make noise in their community. They make noise. We don't.
I won't necessarily say that we don't make noise because,
Not to the
unfortunately,
great extent
I
that
don't
they
live
do.
in that district. I don't live in that district, so I cannot speak specifically for that. But I do know a lot of people that do live in that district. I have a lot of family that lives in that district, and I've seen the protests that have happened in that district. I've seen families come together to say that this is what we need to do. This is a change that we need to have. I've seen families actually come to the BP and hold prayer meetings there just
Oh,
because
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
they're deciding that, you know what, since the police are not going to do it, we're going to do it on our own. But
Well,
at
what
what
I'm saying,
point does council step in and say, you know what, they're onto something and let's back them up? Because the families can't do it by themselves. Because if once the families go out there and they're doing the protesting and they end up getting shot while they're protesting, you've now created a fear in their mind that, okay, well, you guys needed our help. We stepped out there, and now all of a sudden, we're now the targets, and you guys still aren't doing anything. Speaking
uh-huh.
from the people that feel like that the council is not doing anything.
Okay, let me say this, because my statements are not inclusive of everyone, but
Hmm.
I would say a great majority of people. The people that do go out and support and protest, the numbers are small. The numbers are small to a great degree. Okay, because like I said, I'm out there, I'm in the streets, I know, but I do understand what you're saying. And so then you hold these people accountable. Okay, well, we need to protest that you get out these seats right here. We need to, it has to go deeper. We're living in different times. Things are very different, things are very critical and very challenging. And it's no time to really be playing with these people in these seats right here, okay, because of where we are. And I understand that, but everybody can't do it. The small people can't do it. When I asked for the police officer to come to my community, because I got tired of the loitering, and I called the community relations and I said, listen, and my neighbors were too. And I said, listen, I need this to happen. I need signs put out there. It wasn't my county council who was the current one, Rodney Streeter. They didn't answer. They didn't answer. So I know. So me and my neighbors, I'm like, I need to get signs out here. People had people loitering in front of their houses. Okay. So eventually it worked. It worked when they found out I was running for a particular office. And I went to
Hmm.
the street one day and I saw the police parked out at the Goodyear. And they said, I said, did y'all get my call? They say, are you such and such? I said, yes. They said, well, that's why we're here. So, there is some clout that comes with these positions, and you have to hold people accountable. You have to hold them accountable. And that's the best I can really say. And thank God for those who are involved. But when people start getting threatened, okay, where is our community police? Every district should have a community police. When I called for the police to come, and I didn't really like his response, and I said, listen, I said, I need to get a meeting.
They feel like they just live in the community and they're supposed to do what they're told. So,
Right.
like, what are you holding forums? Are you holding meetings to
That
actually let people know like what they can do?
Well, actually, some of the forums have been done virtual, with some of the civic associations.
Hmm.
I did one public forum, and again, no one really came out. I
Right.
called Stop Feeding the Birds. I did it in Suitland. Stop feeding the birds. I said, what do you mean? I wrote some of the elected county officials because everybody know I speak my truth. Okay. I don't bite my tongue for nobody. And I called them and I said, listen, I asked for an endorsement for Melanie Griffin. She's a delegate for 25. A lot of them are up for re-election. And I said, hey, can you support me? Can you endorse me? She said, no, I'm going to support the current incumbent. Right. And I said, well, he hasn't even been here. He's been out. And she said, I know he hasn't done anything. Why would you fit your mouth to say that? But yet you say you want to endorse him still.
That's what I was about to say.
Okay. And I said, wow. So I came up with a forum called, Stop Feeding the Birds, because when you feed the birds, they multiply, and they get fat off the little food. That was something creative I did. And probably about maybe 20 people showed up at the forum. They knew I was having it because a lot of people live in the community. A lot of seniors are consistent with being stuck in their mind. A lot of people don't want change, and a lot of people don't care. So yes, my platform, hopefully for me to be there, that's my desire, is to really create a connective hub where people who are in these communities can plug into me and what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and I can feed them the information to educate people further. You know what is sad? We didn't even have a public forum. So people can come out and hear the county council people who are running. So people don't know. But you see the governors, you see one for Angela Alsabrook, county executive, the governor. But what about the county council people? Nobody knows who they are.
I was going to say that too. Like we are expected to vote, but then all we see are names on a piece of paper. We don't know anything about them.
Exactly.
And we don't know what you've done in the community. So how do we vote for somebody that we don't know is really about change and is really about supporting our community?
Exactly. And that's a good question. There you see the challenge right there. And so anything that I involve myself in is always twofold for me. Number one, I'm always going to educate myself. I want to find out the loopholes. I want to find out what needs to be done, because I'm an activist. I'm a community activist. I'm a community leader. I'm a business management. I'm a business owner. All my works have been about empowering people. So I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. The fact of the matter is, it looks really ridiculous and it's quite sad for them to tell us that Prince George's County, Maryland is so wealthy, but yet things are so out of order. You couldn't even have a public forum. Now, I got newspaper write-ups. I got people who interviewed me, but a lot of people are not going to ever see those interviews. They're not going to see them. They're not going to hear them. I can tell you, I'm the only person who's not a career politician on the ballot. I'm the only person who is not shaking hands with the other elected officials. Okay, meaning I'm cordial because you got to do teamwork. I'm cordial, but a lot I don't agree with. I'm not here to play up to elected officials and be in some gang and some clique. No, when people's lives are at stake here, people are hurting. I'm talking for my family as well. So no, I don't play the games. I don't intend to play the games. All right. So that's what they do. And if you notice, they've sent out all of this mail. Okay, Justice, you probably have seen mail. They tell you who to vote for. All of that's a marketing ploy. They say we are a team. You're not a team. Everybody has to be responsible for their own position, but they all pay the money to get on this paper. So now people are brainwashed. When they send it to your mail, you think it's coming from the government telling you who to vote for. Then they shade little names out for you. Each candidate sending out their own mail, and they say, listen, here's a sample ballot. To me, that's a lie. That's something I want to challenge. That's not what the real ballot look like, but they send it out and say, oh, here's a sample ballot. It has their name on it and it's shaded out. So when you go and you say, well, this person says, here's a sample ballot and their name is circled and is highlighted. So automatically people vote for them. And that's something I want to challenge also, because PG County is the only one that does that.
So where are your voting locations for your district for everyone to be able to get out and vote tomorrow?
Now, this is very tricky. You have several, and people are going to have to look it up because they redistrict a lot of these communities and zones. So somebody wanted to vote for me. Actually, she was on my team and we were out here campaigning. And she said, you know what, Dr. Anita, I'm going to go in here and vote right now. She went to the Suitland Community Center for early voting. And when she went in, there were several people. And then I was at Bach Road, and about 10 people wanted to vote for me. They said, we don't see your name, okay, because they have redistrict things. All right. And so she went in
Mm.
there and she said, they told me I have to go to Green Valley. She said, but why? So everything is all screwed up. So people have to really pay attention to what's going on. And people who want to vote for me because they live in some parts of Temple Hill, when they got in there, they realized that my name wasn't on the ballot. It was because they didn't have the Temple Hills sample ballot. They had Fort Washington because their community had been divided up
Rezone, yeah.
now to Fort Washington.
So where are you going to be tomorrow?
I'm
Are
going
you
to try to
got
be, I'm going to try to be several places, Justice. I'm going to initially be at William Bean Community Center in Suitland, Maryland. I'm going to do my best to be at Sports and Learning Complex in Landover, maybe, because you probably won't get a lot of voters who live in District 7. I'm going to
Mhm.
be at, do my best to be at, what is it, Edgar Poe. It's an elementary school,
Okay.
but I'm most definitely going to try to be at the William Bean location in Suitland, Maryland. So there's several, but if I'm not there, they're going to be my team members. And if they don't see anybody, okay, because well, there are a lot of voting booths, but people want to look for District 7 Justice and they want to look for my name and they want to vote. What I do know is going to be hectic. People run up to you. The candidates are running up to you. They're very thirsty. Everybody's putting paper in your hand and they want to try
Mhm.
to change your mind. But I told my people, don't change your mind. Stay focused and know that the most important one on there to vote for is that county council. You can't change everybody's mind, Justice, because a lot of people are bent. They don't want change. You know, a
Right.
lot of senior citizens, they like, no, I voted for him last year. I'm gonna vote again, you know, and they don't want change. And they
So
know that.
for someone that wants to, I guess, do a little bit more background on you before they change their mind in wanting to vote for you, where can they go to find out a little more information about you and what you're trying to do for District 7?
Well, I first say start with my IG post, actually, which I see you have it listed here. It's vote underscore Dr. Anita underscore county council. And I have been able to put up some highlights and what I stand for, but still a lot of people have not really visit. It went out.
Oh, he's just putting the flyer up for everyone that's
Oh,
watching.
okay. All right. I'll say it went out. Thank
No,
you so
you
much.
keep talking.
Okay. So a lot of people, if they even go to my IG, a lot of people still haven't followed me there. And I reached 7,000 people, but a lot of people tell me they're going to vote. But you may have about 4 or 5 followers because people really just don't want to, you know, or they may have Googled me. A lot of people said they heard about me in DC, as far as DC. And I said that could be
Mhm.
true. And a lot of people, you know, they've Googled me. I had a website prior to running and then it went out and then I couldn't get people to vote because I always had a website about who I am and what I've done for many years. And the moment I get in the campaign race, my website, it goes out and I couldn't find no one to really get it up in time. I did reach out to Mr. Nico and his wonderful crew, but then we still had some issues because they were going to do another one for me. But if people Google me, because I have a lot of good press and they see things I've done for a long time, even some of my, you know, my religious stance, you know, I prayed in the giant food store. That one made international news because there was never anybody, a woman of God or minister, anybody to ever pray in the food store. And I prayed there for 5 years in 2010. And that made the Washington Post, the front page of the Washington Post. A Black woman talking about praying in a grocery store and partnering with food stores to make sure our communities have food. Guess what?
Mhm.
That giant food store in District Heights never ran out of food because I was there during the recession, helping people. People were crying. They were thinking, you know, they thought they were going to lose their homes. So me and my team, we went there and we prayed. We call ourselves prophets in the community and we prayed for people. People wanted consolation and information so they wouldn't lose their home. And the giant food store let me do that for 5 years. That was newsworthy and it went around the world. It went around the world. So you'll see a lot of good press, a lot of highlights. I've been around for a long time, empowering youth, families, and communities. That's what I do. That's my passion. And you know, I think if I was back there when they had the Black Panthers. I think I probably would have been involved in involved in that, but that got a lot of negative press even back then. But we're in a new day now. I created Combat Boots for Black Justice, and I encourage people to follow me and say, "Hey, I would like to get involved." Even when the race is over. And I've encouraged people also, Justice, maybe like yourself or people to start to create these hubs and conversations in their community and stay abreast to support one another and love on one another and be that good neighbor and don't turn the other eye. And thank God for the few people that do get out and say something and are outspoken. And if they're not getting results, they may have to file lawsuits, civil lawsuits, and say, I want better representation for my community.
I definitely agree. So we actually are out of time, but it was such a pleasure having you today. I'm glad that we were able to do this. I'm glad that people were able to see you in a different light and actually get to hear you speak, since we didn't have, a actual forum, where people could ask you multiple questions. I did raise all the questions that I did raise today actually came from people that live in District 7. So I'm happy about that, because maybe you were able to change somebody's mind and they're going to vote for you. One more time, let everyone know what time voting opens tomorrow and what time it closes. And then let everyone know your social media one more time if they would like to find out some more information about you.
All right. Thank you, Justice. I enjoyed the interview. I enjoyed your spirit and the way that you, brought forth the interview. I thank you. Listen, everybody, you can visit my IG page and just get some highlights about me, who I am. I'm a very transparent person. I don't have anything to hide about my life. Everybody's life is not golden all the way, but for the most part, I feel good about my life and what I have done to empower people for more than 40 years, okay? Especially children. Children love me. I've even taught in prison, all right? I taught in prison for 15 years. And so that's my life, empowering families and communities and children. So go to my IG and you can look at some more things about me, which is vote _ Dr. Anita _ County Council. And the voting polls open tomorrow, July the 19th at 7 a.m. And they will close about, I think, 8 p.m. If they haven't changed, sometimes they change things along the way. Remember, everybody has a different sample ballot. There are 699 sample ballots, Justice. 699. And
so do people need their ID and their voter registration card to vote?
Yes. And I ask for your vote so we can rise together. We can prosper together, stay informed together, and let's make a difference together. Smart People, Dr. Anita campaign. We're here and we're here to stay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You guys have been tuned in to Party Mode Live, baby. The party before the party, powered by PartyModeLive.com and GoGo Radio TV. Listen, we love talking to the people and the leaders in our community. So make sure you guys get out and vote tomorrow. You cannot expect change if you don't get out and make the change. So make sure you guys get out and vote tomorrow. And make sure you do your research on the people that you're trying to vote for, or the ones that you are not sure about voting for. So don't just vote just because you see a name on a sample ballot like we learned today. Make sure you actually do some research on people and do for District 7. Make sure you guys get out and vote for her, you guys. We greatly appreciate you all, and we'll see you all on this Wednesday, for another crazy episode of Party Mode Live, the party before the party. I am your girl, Justice J, signing out, you guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.